and welcome to the fourth episode of Ridgecrest Regional Hospital's virtual wellness program. As you can see, we're filming our virtual wellness a little bit different this time due to COVID, but we are so glad you've joined us, and we're really excited to be with you tonight. So my name is Tara Moorhead. I'm the Director of Community Outreach for Ridgecrest Regional Hospital, and I have three amazing, energetic, compassionate individuals who bring services to Ridgecrest Regional Hospital. And it's really amazing to see the collaboration between different organizations that have a passion for seniors. So welcome everybody. First, I'd like to introduce Daryl Price. Daryl Price is a life and health coach, and he runs the Journey to Happiness Seniors Group at Ridgecrest Regional Hospital, and we'll hear more about that. Next, we have Sheena Temple, owner of High Desert Fitness and 760.
Yep.
Yay, awesome. And then we have Susan Bodner. She is the director over at Senior Services for Ridgecrest Regional Hospital. Welcome, everybody.
Yeah.
Hi, Tara.
So first, Daryl, we're going to start with you. I think it was about 7 years ago that you started the program Journey to Happiness, the seniors group at Ridgecrest Regional Hospital. And there you go, representing. Nice. Would you be able to share more with us how that program even came to be?
Yeah. Oh man, I'd love to. Thank you so much for having me on. I am honored, privileged to be here with Miss Sheena, Miss Susan, and with you, Miss Tara. For the last few years, we've worked together in different ways. I think we all have worked together here, but we're all operating in our own kind of zone. But I think we're all part of the same body, just serving as different members, whether it be a hand or a foot or a finger or a toe or an ear. We're all doing different things. But Tara, thank you so much for your leadership in getting all these programs organized, first and foremost. And thank you to Ridgecrest Regional Hospital for sponsoring it, for being engaged and seeing the importance of what I like to call preventative health. I really call it preventative health at its best and at its core. And the Journey to Happiness group, honestly, Tara, was, Dr. Stone saw it spurred from her seeing patients come in. She couldn't spend enough time with them. She saw that there was a lot of active adults in the Ridgecrest community that had a lot to offer to give back and needed an outlet, needed another portal, needed another place to be heard, needed a place to give back, needed a place to use their skills and gifts, and didn't just want to retire and just clock out, so to speak. And so it really just started kind of 3 or 4 people. It was a little nervous for me. It was a different platform, a different population. I spent over 15 plus years in social work. I've worked with everything from homeless vets to maternity homes to group homes to mental health. I've spent a lot of time, and the senior population was unique. And little did I learn that it was going to change the course of my career as a coach. And honestly, the Happiness Group, we just started sharing. Our motto is living, laughing, and learning. And so we like to live because we have lots to offer. So we do that together. We laugh a ton. Humor is a huge part of our happiness. And then we love to learn. I love to coach. I learn to learn from them. You like that, learn to learn. We learn from each other. So it's super cool. A lot of my background and training in health and life coaching is a positive psych. So we capitalize on people's strengths and we make their strengths even stronger. And so that's one of the things that we love to do. We love to see happy and healthy people. And honestly, it's just evolved. We're helping seniors. We've had events, Tara, we've had lots of different things go really cool in the community. And we've had a lot of people. So from 2 or 3 people, we've been working this online for the last 1.5 years, thanks to Ridgecrest Regional Hospital too, making it happen, adapting. And the community, these seniors in our community have so much to offer. So much if we would just listen. So they're not only seniors for me, they're honestly, they're my peers, they're my friends. And I look towards them for leadership in my life. So I'm super thankful to have that. So that about as fast as I can say it, but I love working with the Journey to Happiness Seniors Group. It was one of my highlights of my week. As you can tell, I'm just energized right now. So thank you so much, Tara, for your support in the hospital. We wouldn't be able to do it without, just like we wouldn't be able to do everything here without everybody doing their part. So.
Could you explain just a little bit more what sort of things you do within the group for anybody who's watching and interested, and kind of how you go about helping to create that vibe of happiness?
Yeah. I mean, just I know this is really good. I'm super excited to be able to just share like what we do. I tell people first and foremost, if you are a child of your parents or a senior, we call it classics. We don't use senior a lot. We call each other classics. But maybe you're a child and you want them to come to the group, or you want to invite them to the group. The first and foremost, I tell people, you got to come. You just got to come and see, because energy is in the room. And so one of my roles as facilitator is to make sure when you come in, you leave a little bit better, even if it's just a little bit. That is the rule. And so we know that, and the group knows it. So, we start with the gavel of happiness. I hit the gavel. Everybody's welcome. We're clapping. If they're not clapping loud enough, I make them clap again. If they're not happy enough, I make them do it again. And it's really fun. It's really energizing when you've got 30, 40, 45 people in the room, or even people on a Zoom, and they're energized. We're sharing our joys. We're sharing our happiness. We're sharing things that we've learned. We're sharing places people have been. We're sharing our struggles. Happiness is mixed emotions. It's not always just on a cloud. Happiness is about finding balance. And sometimes there's positive and negative in our lives, but we always put a spin on our joy. Even if it's a rough thing, or somebody's lost a family member, or somebody's been sick, we always say, what's the path to recovery? How are we getting through that? And there's always a lesson. That's one of the things that I have enjoyed. I spent most of my life, my mom was a teacher. I've got a lot of teachers in my family, and I didn't realize I was teaching until after all the workshops and trainings I've done everywhere, that I'm in that field. But honestly, we're engaged. So it's a conversation. So I'm asking a lot of questions. I'm getting feedback. I'm engaging the audience. And I want them to come out knowing that they participated too. So they feel like it's not just me lecturing up there all the time. So it's an interactive lessons. We want to be interactive in our group, and we want to be organic. So I let them have a little time to laugh, and we share what their favorite ice cream is. We share different cheesy things just to break it up. Sometimes they'll do ask the coach question session, and that gets crazy with them. They love it, but it's filled with fun, but it's also filled sometimes with serious topics that we can learn to make light of, because a lot of times people are just so uptight, and they come with so much entitlement and things, and we like to break those down as a group, not just me. So it's really fun to collaboratively just break those down. And that's the same way, I'm sure, with exercise and working with services, helping people meet their needs. In senior services, the same way. It's a different approach, but we've got to come together and do it all at one time. And I am so happy that we get to do that, because that's what joy and health really is, when you can combine everything. And our seniors are just they make it happen. Yeah, they just make it happen. They're so resilient. They've been around things, that stories that we hear is just incredible. So it's so fun. I mean, and Susan knows that, and Sheena knows that, and you know it, Tara. That's what it's about. If we just listen. And so that's what I love. They get a place, they get to have a role. Everybody's got a role some way in our group. So we're empowering each other.
That's great. Yeah. I tell people many times, the individuals in the Journey to Happiness Seniors group are doing more and just more energetic than half the time I am. I mean, it's the happening group, I tell people. So, Daryl, could you discuss some steps or tips that could help people as they age, kind of help lead them or focus them more on finding joy, happiness?
Yeah, I mean, such a loaded topic. We spend a whole year covering a topic each and every week to come around it. And happiness is being measured and studied and case studied like never before. Happiness is everybody is on the quest for happiness, not just our seniors. I mean, everyone wants it. One of the books that I endorse, and I know you as well, Tara. I've got a few of them here, but here's the Blue Zones. So the Blue Zones, Dan Buettner, if I said his name correctly, I'm gonna try to say it right. But the Blue Zones, and also he's got a cooking solution one, and also my favorite one, Blue Zones of Actually Happiness, where Dan Buettner basically went around to look for the 5 places in the world where people are the healthiest and happiest, both, which I think is unique. And I've got them, the places, they're all over. I had them written down, but they're, oh man, Japan, Italy, Costa Rica, Greece, and actually Loma Linda is one of the 5 Blue Zones. So it's super cool to have one in the state here. But he also goes on to say, well, here's some Power 9 things. So I'll just share those real brief. And but the Power 9, and feel free to write down. I always tell people, write down things. Don't always have a pen and paper nearby. But the Power 9 is the ways to shape your surroundings for happiness. So how we shape our environment dictates a ton of how we become happy. So number 1 is love someone. Pick someone that you enjoy being around. Okay. And love them. It's important. It's crucial because you're probably going to be around them a lot, and you're going to have to learn so many things. You're going to learn how to forgive them. You're going to have to learn to balance things. You're going to have to learn several different things. So there's a lot to learn, but love someone and be open to love. It's hard. Some people go through a lot of hurt. So being open to that love is important too. Number 2, create a happier inner circle. I have it right here. To be a good friend, to find a good friend, you must be a good friend. So if you want to have a good friend, then you need to look at yourself and create your circle. So I tell people have 3 really good friends, because acquaintances you can have lots of, but friends, you can only, it takes time. Sheena, you know that, and Susan, well, it takes a lot of time. You can't have but a few really, really good friends. But you can have good acquaintances, but your circle is within that. So your acquaintances and friends there. So we teach a lot about that with happiness. 3, engage and be a part of the community. We're doing that right now. We're engaging, but we teach a thing called Seniors Helping Seniors. We want our seniors to learn to volunteer and give back too. So we're real big on engaging, not just being out there in the community. Pick something you love to do. Don't just go say, I'll do anything, I'll volunteer. No, say, I love to do this. This is my gift. This is my skill. I used to be a principal and I can do arts and crafts, but I can really kill it in this way. I can play a piano. Tell them what your strengths are when you go to volunteer. So that way you can maximize, because if you're not intrinsically having joy and happiness yourself when you volunteer, you're not going to keep doing it. You're going to quit. So it helps create longevity in what you volunteer. Number 4, learn to be likable. Happiness is contagious. I get it all the time. People ask me, Daryl, you like this all the time? Nope. But 9 out of 10 I am, and the other 1 out of 10 you probably never see me, because I'm hiding in a hole somewhere dealing with my self-woes and pities, and then I'm bouncing back because life's too short. But yes, I am not perfect. I do have sadness. I'm a human being. Even as a happiness coach or life and health, I have struggles just like anybody else. We all do. So being real with yourself, but be likable. People don't want to be around somebody who smells bad. So learn to smell good. Learn to feel good about yourself. People like that. Smile a little more. Then you might make a few more friends, and that can help. 5, be active, he says. And these are things on the Blue Zone of Happiness that Dan talks about. Be active and move naturally. Sheena, it is crucial. It is probably one of the biggest things that I have to get to so much, because even just the tiniest of movement can change your whole everything, just small amounts. So be active. Look forward. Number 6, set goals. I teach seniors to set goals. It's one of the things he talks about in here. And write them down. I use the SMART methods, SMART. It's an acronym for specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and a timetable. They're huge. And so be real specific and intentional when you set goals. And so you're about 80 or 90% more likely to achieve something when you write it down versus when you keep it up here. So we do a lot of that in our group too. We're wrapping it up. Number 7, sleep, and then sleep 7+. Sleep good. Don't just sleep. Sleep good. If you got to measure your sleep to know if it's good or not, if you're hitting REM or not, whatever it is, sleep. Sleep is crucial. Never be afraid to take a little nap. Maybe not at work, Tara, but maybe take a little nap sometime, Susan, Sheena. But sometimes we got to recharge. Sometimes the battery's not working, right? We didn't get the night sleep. So it's the same way for this. Number 8 and 9, they combine each other, but shape surroundings. You've got to have the positive community, not just a good community. It's got to be positive. If you've got friends that aren't positive, it's time to clean house. That's what I tell people. You've got to protect who's around you every day. It is crucial to the happiness. So those are some of the Blue Zones. I think those are the Power 9 for a reason. And it's really about shaping your surroundings for happiness. And I have this written down here. I just says you've got to be happy. You choose. You were born with the right to be happy. You were born with that right. So exercise it. And that's what we discussed. That's what I feel is some big tips on the Blue Zone. Check us out definitely with the Journey to Happiness group. Thank you all for saying positive things about the group. And we're online Wednesdays at 10. We're there. I love to have some more. We're welcoming more. My group is welcome. They know that. And we have fun. We have a good time. So, and it's free. Come on out. So it's good. It's good stuff. I mean, I love it. I love it. So those are some things. Check out. There's a lot of good stuff on the Blue Zones of Happiness. Dan, I know Dank's been to Ridgecrest. Not Dan, but his brother Tara has been to Ridgecrest. And just the message of it is we've got to take care of ourselves and live healthy and longer. We have to invest in our health to lead to, that's how the wealth comes. It's our health and activity, and meeting our basic needs are huge. It's huge in the whole scheme of life. So thank you, Tara, for asking. So I think that's it. That's a lot, but that's how we get happier. Woo.
Sheena, I think we'll move on to you now. And actually, it was about 7 years ago too, around the same time, you approached the hospital about offering a Silver Sneakers program.
Correct. Yes. So on one of our team members, I was interviewing her, and I happened to see Silver Sneakers on her resume, and I hadn't heard of that. So I asked her about it, and she told me it was specific for seniors' needs and based on their joints, or if they had a hip replacement, and how this program teaches the instructor to really gear this towards what's going to be beneficial for their aging bodies. And also in a very positive, fun kind of party way, I guess. And the problem is she didn't have time to teach it. So she told me how great it was. So then I started to look into it, and I decided to go over and go through the training camp for that. And that's when I fell in love with not only the format, but the people who are running it and their passion for what they were doing for the senior community and how they saw such a need, because it could be intimidating, especially, you don't want people to use age as a reason to not try, but it's intimidating. And so taking that off of the table of, this is geared for people of a certain age, and you are not going to get hurt. We're going to take good care of you, and you're going to have fun while you're doing it. You're going to meet a lot of great people. And so, yeah, we started, that's why we approached the hospital. We didn't have the space for it. And you, Tara, have been amazing. I just want to say that. And you always listen to our ideas, and you have the best intentions for our senior community, and you have a heart, and you make it happen. So obviously wouldn't be here without you. And so we're just one piece of that. But yeah, so that was how it started. And as you know, it started with 2 classes, Tuesday and Thursday at 10 o'clock, and then those got full, and then those got full. So we have now 4 classes every day, back to back. Cardio, yoga, Silver Sneakers, which is focusing more on the strength training, also mobility and balance, everything that is important as we age. We take care of that, kind of the physical piece of it. But not only that, like we talked about, it covers that sense of community as well. And that's what I like about that community is that's a whole wellness aspect of the exercise classes. So yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, speaking of community, so I get to do community outreach, which, I always joke and say I have the best job at the hospital, but, it's just amazing to have leadership at the hospital that really does care about the community and provides these, resources and programs and allows us to have them. And, really, I think for our, somewhat small town and hospital, we do a lot for the seniors in our town. So
I would agree. And it's amazing. Speaking of that, the Parkinson's patients that are living here in our community are very fortunate that you guys were open to taking on Rock Steady Boxing as well. because there was nothing for 200 miles in any area, and people were driving, all the way from Tehachapi. They were wanting to come and all that, because this is I would say a big town resource in a small rural town. So I think it's awesome. So
I love that.
big
town resource
for the hospital for that. Really,
That's a t-shirt.
What's that?
Yeah, yeah.
Like a t-shirt.
You just came up with the whole t-shirt thing. That's great.
There you go. Yeah. No, but seriously, it's a blessing to be part of the group, and there are so many people who are extremely grateful for the resources that the hospital provides, and we're just lucky enough to be a part of it. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I love, stopping by and visiting everybody. And like you said, it was just amazing to see, okay, let's try this 2 classes. And it was like, wow, we're going to have to expand. Like, people were loving it. And I think it was really the connection with you, the connection with the other instructors. And then, like you said, the connection with each other, really kind of becoming like a family and everybody's kind of little support system.
Exactly. And they notice when someone's not there, and they check in on each other. And that's huge. You want to feel like people care as well, So
Yeah, it's great. I think we obviously knew there would be the physical, benefit aspect, but in the beginning, I didn't really realize the, all of the health benefits that really would tie into it, with the emotional, the mental. It's just been amazing to be a part of.
And to not discount the physical part of it, that is equally as amazing, because we get story after story of people saying, I was not able to do this before, and I wouldn't have been able to even get up if I hadn't been exercising, and I'm so much stronger, and I don't have to ask my spouse to come pick up stuff for me, because I can do it myself. And then that helps with the confidence, and then they want to do more, and then extends their quality of life. And so it's just powerful. Yeah.
Susan, since, we're kind of talking, why don't you share, a little bit more, we're kind of talking about how these resources kind of had to shift and how they were presented, but, share with us about senior services and what you offer through that.
Sure. First of all, thanks so much, Tara, for having me tonight. It's just been awesome listening to everybody. And I have to say, working with Daryl and I work together a whole lot, and being able to refer people back and forth with each other has really been wonderful. And also being able to refer people over to the yoga class and the cardio class. These are just really awesome opportunities that we have here in this community, that we can do this. And we can follow up with each other. And I know I use Daryl all the time as a sounding board, because we work with so many of the same people. So it's just been really awesome. So how the senior services program came to be was almost about 5 years ago. There was another program that was running what we do, and they were going out of business. And so I was the social worker over at the hospital, and I knew how important this program was, because I referred so many seniors over to this program, and I knew we couldn't let it go away. So I got in touch with Mr. Suver and told him that the program was closing, and his response to me, and Tara, you'll understand, was, well, then make it not close. So that was it. That was the guidance I was given, but it was awesome guidance, because we went after the RFP and we were awarded the RFP, and we're now on our second contract. An RFP is a request for proposal. And so we are now on our second contract with the county for the request for proposal. And so what we do is we provide services to any senior over the age of 60. And that great word that's going to go along with it is we provide it to them at free, no charge whatsoever. We do, and we ask for a monthly donation, but only if folks can make it. If they can't make it, it's okay. So our program is partially funded through the Kern County Department of Aging, and then the hospital graciously funds the rest of the program. They fund the hugest part of it, quite honestly. And so back in 1965, Congress wrote a bill that was called the Older Americans Act of 1965. And that's when they recognized that people would really rather stay at home than have to go to a nursing home. We're going to bring in that whole happiness thing here. Where are we going to be happiest? Sitting in a nursing home, or sitting in our own house, being able to go out in our own garden, sit in our own living room, just do what we've been doing our whole life. People want to be at home. They don't want to go to nursing homes. And so that's why these programs were developed. Meals on Wheels is part of this program, though they're not with us, but they are part of the program as well under the Older Americans Act as well, as also. So what we do is we provide, our biggest program that we provide is homemaker services. And that's where we go out to people's homes once every 2 weeks. Usually we have a couple of people, it's only once a month. And we have maybe once or twice, we might have somebody that needs services a little bit more, but not frequently. And we do basic housekeeping skills for them, things that our seniors find a little bit more difficult. Changing their bed linens. That's a really tough one when you're getting older, cleaning the bathroom, stuff like that. So we provide that. And we also provide grocery shopping. And since COVID, that was a huge boom. Everybody wanted us to grocery shop. And so we did it. I had to ask finance 3 or 4 times for a credit card increase because we were doing so much grocery shopping. But that's great because we were keeping people at home and we were keeping them safe, which was so important. I have to say one of the best things about working for the hospital, Tara, I have to argue with you because I think I've got the best job at the hospital. Sorry. But one of the best things was when COVID happened, the county wanted all the programs to shut down. And Mr. Suver said, absolutely not. This program is too important to this community. You will keep working. And it's just great. I mean, people were thrilled by that. Of course, people that work with me were thrilled by that, but they made sure that they took every safety measure that they could to keep people safe at home. And we have done an excellent job of that. I thank the people that I work with all the time because we have done such an awesome job of keeping our seniors safe at home. The next program that we provide is our case management program. And that's for people that need a little bit more help. They need more help than just grocery shopping or just having their house cleaned. They need help paying their bills. They need help making doctor's appointments, scheduling transportation. These are people who some of them have been diagnosed with cancer, and we need to get them through that stage and walk alongside them every single day and support them with what's going on. And it really makes a huge difference. We did have someone who had cancer and we were able to walk through every stage of the cancer treatment with her. And she never once had to go to the emergency room for anything because she had us on speed dial and was able to call us and say, this is going on. We were able to speak with their doctors or nurses and say, okay, this is normal, this is not. And so it makes just such a huge difference. People don't have to rush to the emergency room. And I can tell you, as someone who was once the social worker who worked in the emergency room, so many of our seniors would go there just because they were simply lonely. They had nobody to talk to. And so with this program, I've got people out there all the time. I've got a volunteer who makes phone calls all the time just to say, hey, how's it going? Do you need anything? And if they need anything, she's on the phone immediately to me, say, hey, follow up with this. But that really makes a huge difference for people because they don't feel so lonely. When staff go out to the people's house, I say to them, hey, if they don't want you to clean that day, that's fine. If they'd rather go for a walk with them. And sometimes people look at me like, you're going to pay me to walk? Absolutely. Because if that's going to make that person happy, then absolutely, I'm going to pay you to walk because that's what's so important. I think, we experience in this program, and Daryl, you experience it as well, death. But I think it also helps us all, like Daryl said, remember, live for today, because that's what's so important. We're not all going to be here forever. And I always say to the folks all the time, we're all on the same road. None of us are getting out of here alive. We're all on that same exact road. Some of us may be a little bit further ahead than others, but we're all in this together. So the final piece we work on is information and assistance. And that's where folks call and are just looking for information. My light bill's too much. I need a piece of medical equipment. How do I get it? So I've got access to all these different resources in the county, actually, not just here in this community. And I'm able to tell people about these programs. And then we also do a lot with the Alzheimer's Association. It's a huge problem here in this community. There are just so many folks who have dementia and Alzheimer's or another sort of Alzheimer's. And it really is a huge, huge issue in this county. And it is a passion of mine that we try to help these people as much as we possibly can. Being a caregiver is an exhausting, overwhelming job. And as a community, we really need to try to figure out ways that we can help these folks. Just to be able to let somebody come to a support group if we went actually back to in person, just to have somebody that they could trust sit with their loved one. It's I can't even begin to tell you how much it is for these people, how overwhelming it is for them. And I know Daryl knows, because he's been there right alongside with me. But it's definitely something that we need to continue to address in this community and make sure that we're helping folks. So that's basically what we do. We spend a lot of time laughing. We do spend some time crying, especially when we lose folks, but we do spend a lot of time laughing. And I'm always reminding people, just try to remember what a great life they've lived. I was just at somebody's house yesterday, and this gentleman is just, he's just a really humble gentleman. And his wife said, "Did you know he got the Purple Heart?" And I was like, wow, like this was so exciting to me. But he doesn't actually have his Purple Heart. He never got it. And so I said to him, let me help you get it. I'll write to our government officials and get you that actual physical Purple Heart. And, he looked at me and he said, "No, that was just my job." And it just really, really touched my heart, because that's how these folks are. They don't expect anything. They just want to be loved. They want to know that people care about them. They want to know that people are here to support them. And I think the hospital has done a really great job over these past several years of showing them that through these programs and through being here for them and just listening to them.
That's great. I'm so glad the seniors in our community have that resource and have you, to help them in all these different areas. And, having our circle of friends, sometimes some of us don't have a big circle, or as we age, that circle gets, smaller. And what I love with all of the programs here is you don't have to have that circle. You can come to the Journey to Happiness Seniors Group. You can go to Silver Sneakers. You can go to Senior Services, and that becomes your circle. That becomes your support system. And I just love seeing that be available to the seniors in this community. Sheena, do you have any recommendations for seniors, with exercise or activity, how to get started, just little tips?
Yes. First of all, don't worry about where you're starting from, because the beautiful thing with our programs is you can be seated in a chair the whole time. You can stop and take a breath. You can do what you can do without feeling pressure to do any more. And you're going to be loved and you're going to be embraced no matter what. And people are going to be cheering you on. Call your number. I am sure you're going to share that, right?
Yeah.
The community outreach number to get started. It's a very simple process. You don't need any of your own equipment. We'll lend it out. We will walk you through the Zoom process. I would just say, try it out. And especially now that we're virtual, you're going to be in the comfort of your own home, and no one's going to be forcing you to do things that you don't like. And you will be surprised at how good you feel just a little bit of movement, how it's going to elevate your mood. Your stress is going to decrease. You're just going to be happier, So everyone needs to move their body. Yeah. Our bodies are meant to move. So yeah, pretty simple. Just do it.
Awesome. Thank you, Sheena. And really thank you for all that you do for our community, being a leader in fitness and health and providing those resources, not just through our Silver Sneakers program, but through your own businesses. Ridgecrest is really, blessed to have you be here. So thank you.
Thank you. It's my honor. And the only reason I'm doing it is because I'm passionate about it. So it's easy to do what you're passionate about, it is. So I'm spoiled in that way. Yeah.
I think all four of us could agree with that passion for sure.
Yeah.
Susan, any closing thoughts, any little tips or tricks or anything for seniors or people who are watching this, maybe for their parents?
Just to remind folks, call us and we will help you in whatever way we can, whether it's, hooking you up with Sheena or Daryl or getting you into this program itself. We're here to help you. So give us a call. I think that's the most important thing, because that's what we're here to do, is to help and to listen.
Thank you again for all you do for the seniors. Daryl, any last minute tidbits from you?
I mean, I actually took some notes. I was excited. I'm like writing. I'm like, all right, 5 years ago, and then in 1965, Older Americans Act. I felt like I was in class a little bit, and then I got 4 classes in the community now in strength training and Parkinson's and 200 miles. I mean, so I'm energized to pick up some things that I actually didn't even fully know. So it's really cool for me to learn from this. There's so many things. I mean, Sheena hit on it. I mean, movement. I tell everybody, every single person knows that they're going to. I've got medals behind me. I've changed my entire life through health and movement. But it's the people I met through it, the groups that I met. That it's the community that you meet through movement. And then the side effect is you get healthy, and then no more. There is not a more important time to get healthy. It is right now. If I can emphasize it, it is important. That is the message. Just get healthy, make a focus, and then share that with somebody else. Find a buddy that you can work with and just start. The start stops most. So Sheena says it. So just get started and don't worry about where you are. Worry about where you could be. And don't worry about what if. Worry about what if I succeed, not what if I fail. So I wrote down, I was on a thing right before I came on here with a lady that's her personal goal as a senior, and I work with her as a coach one-on-one, is to be healthier and to be vibrant. That is her goal, to be vibrant and be able to really explode, basically shed light to everybody. And so she said, I've got to be healthy and I got to have a good mind. She said, a good body, a good soul. I got to get right physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritual. And then I got to make sure that I realize that I have to get my endorphins going to make myself happy after exercise, because there's a lot going on in the endocrine system that you can look it all up. It's amazing. And then I was just taking notes on her because she said, if I don't focus on my thoughts, they're going to get me. And she said, if I don't get my self-talk right. And so then it got me looking for a book and what to say when you talk to yourself. And I know it just spurred everything. So I think during these times and what we're going through, we've got to focus on what is good, and we got to see the half full side, not the half empty. And if we can do that, and we can come together with Susan, and I'm so thankful for Susan, because we didn't have Susan, me and Tara, when we started off. So I'm like, I want to help, and then we didn't have the physical activity. So when I said move, it was like, all right, I'll be over there. Let's take a walk. So I didn't even I would just drove over to the house because I didn't know what else to do. So they needed a buddy. Now they got a buddy. So all these programs have come together. So it's so exciting. So what you focus on, you get. So really, if you're watching, if you have a parent or a grandparent that's struggling, put them in the happiness group, send them over to senior services, get them moving, send them to Silver Sneakers, send them to everything. They got tons of classes. Call Tara, give the number, take action. You can't lose. It's free. And honestly, I agree, Tara. There is not, I work with other places all over the US, and I can't tell you per population, you will not find a better hospital that is making effort to do the best they can within the parameters they can to maximize services. It's incredible. So that's my pitch. I felt like I just sold like a commercial there, but like everybody, I have fun when I'm doing. I'm super excited. I'm going to get off here and shake some stuff and just have some fun when I get off here. I'm pumped. I am so thankful for seniors and what you're all doing. It energizes me. It touches my heart to know we have people like this in our community. So it gets me emotional. I love it.
Well, thank you for being here. And, just the passion each of you have for the seniors and for our community in general. It's evident in the success of these programs and that people feel connected. They feel a sense of community. They're learning, they're feeling better, being healthier. So I just want to thank each of you for, all that you do for our community. And, the hospital really does have a passion for seniors, and being able to collaborate with amazing people and organizations has been wonderful. So thank you very much. And if for those of you who are watching, if you are interested in any of these programs, you can give me a call at 760-499-3825. And we can give you more information, get you set up. And if you have any suggestions, for an area you see, just let me know that we need to work on. But Thank you so much for being here and joining us for the 4th episode of Ridgecrest Regional Hospital's Virtual Wellness episode.